Hey, hey, hey! It's your girl, Dorothy-Inez, coming to you live here on, what is it, Tuesday already? Well, today I want to introduce you to one of my amazing clients, Miss Dortha Hise. Dortha is an awesome, amazing woman. Dortha is the chief overwhelm eliminator and joy giver. And so I want to have her come on and share her story and share her experience working with me. So I am bringing her on right now. See, hold on. We're getting used to this. There she is. Welcome, Dortha.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. I've had this is now my second awesome conversation with you this morning. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Terry. Welcome. So, Amanda, Dortha. I see Amanda. Amanda's name is like here on my screen, flashing up. So I'm getting confused. So I want to introduce you, like I said, to Dortha. And Dortha, I want you to share with the audience who you are and how you serve. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Manta. So hi, Dorothy-Inez. Hi, everyone watching. I am Dortha Hise, as Dorothy-Inez shared, and I am the Chief Overwhelm Eliminator at my company, Pretty Smart Virtual Services. And my team of kick-ass, awesome virtual assistants and I specialize in rescuing our clients out of overwhelm. So we really partner with them and just help get them out of the things that don't bring them joy.
Awesome, awesome. And what does that look like when you rescue them? Tell us, what does that look like? What exactly does it mean to be a chief overwhelm? What is it? Chief overwhelm eliminator and joy giver. Tell us, what does that look like? Hey, Cassie. Hey,
So
Natasha.
it looks like a lot of different things. We take on the things that stress our clients out. So really, it can be anything from their schedule, booking appointments with their clients, doing follow up, getting them on a regular emailing schedule with their list. Posting to their blog regularly, all kinds of stuff. It can really just depend. And like I said, it can be as much or as little as they want. A lot of our clients, once they get a little dabble in the delegation world, they're like, "Oh my God, it's so freeing."
Yeah, they're
So
addicted.
it's yeah. So once they do a little, then they're like, "Oh my God, there's so much more I could be giving you." So
Mm-hmm.
that it starts. I don't know. Maybe it's a gateway drug.
Yeah. Hey, now watch it. No drugs here. This is a no
Just
drug zone.
kidding. It's a joy. It's the joy gateway.
Yes, yes. So tell us, Dortha. Like I shared with them when we first came on, you've been one of my clients, not only for one program, but two programs now. Tell us where you were when you first started working with me. And
Well,
what program were you in?
let's see. When was that?
It
Like
was
3 months
like,
ago? 4 months ago?
yeah, I would say 4 months ago is when we first started.
Yeah, so and I'm bad. I don't even remember the name of the program. I know it was like a brilliant
Dare,
to
dare to be courageous.
That's right. Dare to be courageous. It
Because
was
you are truly daring to be courageous, because
I
tell
really
them
was.
tell them why.
Yeah. So I had a conversation with Dorothy-Inez. She popped up on my messenger and she's like, "Hey, you've been on my mind and in my heart, and I just wanted to reach out and I'm doing this little program, and it's a 6 week thing to get more comfortable doing video and doing more video more often." And I was like, "Okay, can I just be honest?" I was like, "Holy shit, I can't do that. I have this vocal disorder, and it's really challenging for me. And some days are good, some days are terrible. No."
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
was really, really resistant to the idea. And I was scared. Fear was showing up for me in a big way. And, Dorothy Inez just kind of virtually held my hand, so to speak, which is probably what I do for a lot of my clients. And so it was really powerful because she's like, look, I believe that you have a big message to share, and people want to hear from you and they want to hear what Dorotha has to say. And I was like, really? Okay,
Really?
maybe.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. And I have to say, and I told Dortha this because one of the things about me is I'm real honest and transparent with my clients. And I was telling Dortha that I was actually scared to ask her to be in my program because I actually filled this program completely intuitively, personal invite only. Dortha came to mind, and I was like, God, serious? I woke up and it was like, I want you to ask Dortha. And I was like, are you serious, God? You know, she has a vocal disorder. She does not like to get on the phone. She doesn't like to talk. God, no. And he's like, I want you to ask her. Remember I told you that? And I was like, I was
Yeah.
so terrified. So just as you were terrified, I was terrified because I was like, oh, she's going to say no. And I was like, how am I going to help her? God, can I really do this? And so share what happened. I mean, your first video, oh my God, tell them what happened.
So I came, so Dorothy-Inez led us through the process, come up with some topics and pick something that you want to do your first live about. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to do it. So you jump out in faith, right? And Dorothy-Inez is like, you can do it, you can do it. It's kind of like the mom or dad running behind you with the tricycle or the bike with the training wheels, take them off and she like pushes you and you can go. So I did my first video and it had well over 1,000 views. It had, I don't know, some number of shares, 5 or 6 shares, and like probably a couple hundred comments. It was crazy. And I came back to the group and I was like, holy moly, this is happening.
No, you were like,
they really do want to
shit.
hear. I didn't want to drop that twice on here.
I know.
It's clearly okay though.
Yeah, we just got to be ourselves, right? That's what we talk about.
It's true.
Is really showing up as our authentic selves. And if people don't like it, guess what? Bye.
Bye.
It's about really having the confidence to show up in who we truly are. So Dortha, share with everyone what we went through in that particular program, because now you're in your another program. You went back to back because now we're in a program that's taking you deeper. Let's look at the Dare to Be Courageous program that helped you to really have the confidence to show up in video. What was that process like?
Scary.
Mm-hmm.
So each week we had an assignment and we were supposed to come into the group and do a live. And I remember the very first video I did in our group, I had recorded and then posted because I didn't know about doing live in a group. And so I remember Dorothy-Inez saying, yeah, no more of this. You need to go live. And I was like, oh, okay. I apologize. So
I said that.
It was that. Yeah. You might have. So it was one of those moments of like realizing the kind of coach that you are, Dorothy-Inez, which is that you're loving and you're kind and you point out our strengths, but you also hold us accountable and you push us into the fire, so to speak. Like you wanted to do this, I'm holding you accountable. And so it was a lot of you'd get an exercise and you would work on it and then come to the group and share, a new video, or you'd go out to your personal page and do a video and then come back and report how it went. And it was just this really amazing transformational journey. It was 6 weeks and each week was a little bit more difficult than the week before because you never knew what you were getting into. I mean, Dorothy-Inez did because she was leading it, but none of us did as participants. It was like, oh, shit.
Yes. That's
What's she going to have us do this
times.
Someone's keeping tally.
I know. And so tell them about, because I think one of my signature pieces is I teach video in a way that nobody else teaches video and visibility. And that is, we really come from a spiritual place about doing video. Remember, we talked about doing video is not all about you. Who's it about, Dortha?
your lovely audience.
Yes, it is about the people that you serve. And the
Yeah,
way that we're able to show up and shine and truly step out is by tapping into the God within us, not being
yeah,
focused on ego, who am I, and worrying about what do people think about me. It's
yeah,
about using this platform to impact people that you never would have had an opportunity to impact without this gift called live video, right?
yeah, yep.
It's powerful, powerful work. So when we did the spiritual piece, what was the most impactful to you personally?
Just tapping into the trust
Mm,
and knowing that whatever I think one of the biggest pieces for me was that I felt like I needed a script when I did my videos. And you were like, no, you don't need a script, just trust the process. And I was like, okay. And I have a sticky note on my desk that says that trust this process.
mm-hmm.
And it serves as a constant reminder for me to know that who I am in God, to know that I'm going to show up however the message needs to be delivered. And I
Right.
think that would be the biggest piece for me, to trust the process and know that whatever message needed to come through me, I would have an idea of the topic and like kind of the stuff I wanted to go over, but then I would
Mm-hmm.
just be like, okay, let's just go with it and see what comes out.
Yeah, and now Dortha shows up every week because she has become addicted. It's like crack to her now to do video to do videos. And so now Dortha is in my current program, 40 days to the true you, your authentic God self. Tell them about this program and what you've been experiencing, and about the community and everything that you've experienced in this program.
So it's a really awesome program. So there's a book, and we do reading, and the author of the book is amazing, and she really gives practical, hands-on ways to take these what we kind of try to make as a complicated idea, our relationship with God and how we show up in the world and all the different components that looks like. And she breaks it down into these daily readings that are just amazing. And so there's the reading, and then we're all coming into this community, and we do a Facebook live video about our ahas from the week. And that has been so incredibly
Mm-hmm.
transformational. It's been, the video program was like here, and now we're jumping off the high dive into the deep waters of
Mm.
really getting to know who we are and how we show up and who we serve and like the space that we take up in the world. And it's been really, really powerful.
So share with them how I'm incorporating coaching, supplementing you guys with coaching in,
Yes.
not just reading the book, but how we're also doing our weekly coachings, how we've added in, some extra things when needed. Share with them
Yes.
about that.
So, again, to your accountability, you really, you won't let us play small. And you kind of, I think, asked us all that when we came into this program, when we said, yes, are you done being, playing small? And you have held us accountable and said, you know what? I feel like this is a small answer. Like, I feel like there's more to this. Like, you've scratched the surface, but let's dig more.
Mm-hmm.
Each week there's a coaching call where everybody jumps on a Zoom session, and you ask for questions and you ask for feedback and provide more guidance and more, how is this applicable to you and how can you practice this daily. And I love that you just every day it seems like you come into the group and you're posting something to make us think about what we've read today differently. Maybe it's a
Mm-hmm.
video, maybe it's a particular scripture, but you just take it to another level. And it's really nice to be so well supported in a program where, you feel a little bit like, oh no, what am I going to do here? And there's this book and that's great, but what else? And I feel like it's just a really amazing program, and you have it very well fleshed out.
So, what are some of the practices that you've learned that have allowed you, that have, I guess, been most impactful, that have allowed you to really tap in to that God within, so that you begin to trust? Because the key thing about confidence, is being able to trust that inner voice within. Tell us about how that has been transformed within yourself.
Well, a big way that that's shown up for me, like we've done some awareness and being present and being mindful and how we show up and taking time for ourselves and making ourselves a priority, which has been a really big one for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And how that's really translated into everyday practical um, uh, application, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Loss of words.
Right. It
um,
happens.
I think it's really shown up for me in the level of confidence that I have, not just in my business and, in myself and personally and my relationships. My husband had mentioned recently we were out on a trail hiking, and he was like, yeah, I've noticed you seem a lot more confident. Like you didn't
Mm-hmm.
struggle with this particular, challenge that you would have struggled with before. And so it's just showing up in a lot of areas, including how I'm showing up doing my videos now.
Yeah, and you had even mentioned how you've even started setting boundaries with
Yeah,
people, whereas before you would have been more about people pleasing, and now
absolutely.
you're beginning to say, you know what, I need to say no for me. I need to set aside this time for me. This is a non-negotiable, and we know that is so important, because if we don't put ourselves first, who will, right?
Yeah.
So that's really powerful. Dortha has been, let me just tell you, Dortha has been a stellar student. I'm so proud of her. Look at her. She's dancing. See, we wouldn't have been able to get her to do this just 3 months ago. Just trust and believe that one. She can talk, but she wouldn't have come on video. So I'm so proud of her. So,
Thank
Dortha,
you.
what would you say, um, you know, who would you say Dorothy-Inez is for and isn't for?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a
So I
juicy
would,
one, right?
it sure is. Let's bite into that. So let's see. I would say that Dorothy Inez is for anyone who's ready for a big challenge, something that seems completely out of reach, and is willing to be held accountable, held to the fire, and not afraid of being called out to do more. Um,
Mm,
and then who is she not for? Anybody who's playing small, anyone who is willing to settle,
mm.
someone who doesn't hold a bigger vision for themselves. Um, I think somebody not willing to do the work, because Dorothy Inez is going to make you do the work. And, if you sign up to work with Dorothy Inez, which I highly recommend, um, she's going to transform your life in big ways and in a lot of ways that maybe aren't immediately obvious.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you so much. So if they are on the fence and they're like, I've been following this Dorothy-Inez chick, but I don't know. What would you say if you were sitting and talking to this person who was thinking about working with me? What would you say to them, Dortha?
I would say listen to the little voice, whatever it is. If you want to call it God, if you want to call it the universe, whatever it is that's in you that's talking to you, listen to it, because it knows. And I think, Dorothy Inez, you had this conversation with me. You already know what the answer is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you're finding excuses not to do it.
Right.
So I would say, um, if you're on the fence, jump off and join.
Yeah,
live
take the
live like
lead.
live
Take the
Yeah,
lead.
live like they left the gate, live like they left the gate open.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And something you said too, that I also wanted to bring up, because sometimes people, they follow me, and I make it no secret that I'm a Jesus follower, but one thing about Dorothy-Inez is I'm all inclusive, right? We
Yes.
include everybody wherever you're at in your walk. It doesn't matter your religious faith. Tell us how it's been to have somebody of a different faith in our community, and how that's expanded your awareness and your personal growth.
It's been awesome. Not having an expectation coming in, like, oh yeah, okay, so it's a program that's has a Christ focus, and that's great, and that's part of who I am. having someone else from a different faith has been amazing, because it's really great to see how they practice and how they show up in prayer and their religious practices, and the music and some of the things that you've brought in as additional pieces. It's just been so eye-opening and like so, oh, so that's how that works. Oh, that's so interesting. And just like, I'm a student like of everything. Like, I love to learn. And I just feel like this program has really, really fed that need.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Dortha, tell us, the people that are watching, that they need, those that need to get out of overwhelm and they too could use some joy in their life. How can they connect with you to find out more about your services?
So they can definitely connect with me here on Facebook. You can send me a PM, or you can, connect with me on my page. Or you can visit our website, which is prettysmartvirtualservices.com. It's kind of a long one.
Because she's pretty smart.
And hiring us is pretty smart.
And yes, pop it in the comments for sure.
I will.
So that way, if people want to get out of overwhelm and get that joy into their lives, and if you want to connect with me and you want to learn how you can really step out in confidence, if you're ready to have that shift in mindset so you can fully tap in to the woman that God has created you to be, if you're ready, then Dorothy-Inez is your girl. If you're ready to stop playing small, if you've been playing small and you're ready to stop, if reach out to me. I am here. Don't be afraid, like Amanda is saying here. Don't let fear hold you back. Fear will keep you from your destiny. Sometimes, like Dorothy said, we've got to take that leap. We've got to step out in faith and know that there's a reason you stayed here watching this video. There's a reason you tuned in the first place. There's a reason that you follow me. And that's because you see yourself in me. And I want to help you become the woman that you're called to be. I want you to fully step into your destiny, because that's my call and purpose. So, Dortha, any final thoughts before we log off?
I would just say, thanks, Dorothy-Inez, for reaching out all those few months ago, and, your continued support and love and devotion for what you do. It's clear it's your passion, and I appreciate that you believe in all of us and that you see us the way Jesus sees us, I think. And I think that's amazing, and it's a gift that needs to be bigger and more broad strokes in the world. So, so if you're I think that's it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks for bringing your energy. And thanks for trusting me with really helping you to show up and to shine in the world. I appreciate that. And I love you so much. And thank you, Amanda. Thank you for tuning in, and everyone that's tuned in today. Have a really, really blessed day. Have a really blessed day. Bye, everyone. Bye, Dortha.
Bye. Bye.